Screen's very jumpy. It's starting to clear up. It might have happened live. Yeah. Yeah, it's better. There we go. All right. Along with Michael Goodman, I'm Connor Sullivan, as we are 1/4 of the way through the Iowa 100, the opening round for the 2021 Maconi Setip's Elite Modified Tour. And so far it's been Jay Kaner who's been out in front of the defending Elite Modified champion Brandon Wilkinson. But I'll tell you what, Goody, he's really keeping on Kaner for the lead here, as we are now 27 laps complete.
Yeah, I think one thing, you look at Wilkinson, he's very methodical, and he didn't win that championship by accident. He knows how to get around in these modifieds, but usually he's a little bit better at the shorter tracks, and this season they're kind of opening up the tracks here a little bit. Richmond, the NASCAR circuit, considered a short track, but we do have a caution on the speedway here as well. Yeah, Wilkinson, I think he's going to be a guy to look at to be contending here for the win.
And we should note, this is the first yellow of the race, so it's been clean and green so far. As we get a look at the top five, again, it's Jake Kaner out in front, Brandon Wilkinson in second,
Jesse Rasmus in third, and Drew Anelski in fourth, and Tyler Fody rounds out the top five. We'll take a look at what brought out the yellow there, as we'll, that's not the right one that I wanted to get. See what brought out the yellow here. Let's see if that is Brandon Paul that might have brought out the last yellow.
Oh boy. Oh, what a shocker. One of the best things about some of these elite broadcasts is that as some of you may or may not know, I'm one of the Northeast guys for Speed 51, and a lot of my Speed 51 colleagues are in this elite modified racing league. And one of the good perks of this job is that I can say whatever I want about them, and they can't do nothing about it.
See, that's where we gotta have a little fun with that. I don't know if this brought out the yellow. He gets down on into the grass.
I don't know what in the world's happened there.
Yeah, it just maybe breaks a little loose. But other than that, I don't know if that was enough to bring out the yellow. As we try to see, there's one other car, Vincent Isabella, that is out of the race here as well. Let's see what happened to him.
Might have been connection issues.
Yeah, that one might have been oh, there was a wreck right ahead of him, right as that came out, and that was the 21 of Thomas Capuano, and there's must have been some connection issues. I believe he got up into the wall.
Yep, that's
ooh.
Yeah, we had a couple of guys for the wall.
Yeah, disappeared. Oh, yep. Richard Hines in the 87 and the 21 of Capuano getting into the wall, bringing out the yellow. Vincent Isabella also involved. So a couple of cars out of contention here, but yeah, it appears connection issues obviously had some play in that as well.
I guess connection issues are about the theme of the night that we got going here so far.
Yeah, we're having loads of trouble here as well, trying to get this broadcast running. As
we see, Wilkinson's actually the leader now.
Yeah, Wilkinson took over the lead, and it appears that Jay Kaner went down pit road, but the top 17 stay out, so Kaner falls all the way back into the 18th position. So he's going to have some work to do, showing that speed in qualified on the pole and led the first chunk of this race. So interesting to see him go down pit road and lose a whole bunch of track position. And with that
Yeah,
56 car up front, I don't know if I'd want to do that.
yeah, he's taking his service early here. If you got the rest of these guys, they choose to pit later on, they'll be able to come back in. But I don't know. I think he's banking on there possibly not being a caution. I mean, we did go 28 laps without a yellow flag, but we're soon going to find out here as the lights are off on the iRacing pace car. As definitely an exciting night here. First night of the Maconi race setup Elite Modified Tour, and we're getting ready for a big week coming up on Speed51.tv. I'm off to Seekonk Speedway tomorrow for the Boston Louis Memorial. Going to have the ISMA Super Modifieds, NEMA Midgets, NEMA Lights. It's going to be a fun show. 6:30 live tomorrow on Speed51.tv. And it's Goody. We're ready to go back to green.
We're going back green flag racing. Good restart by Wilkinson as he takes the lead over Rasmus. As right now, battle for second place is Mitch Drewinski is going on the inside. And it looks like he'll take that second spot. Oh, maybe the good run on the outside for that 70 truck. We'll take a peek back here for that battle for second position. Looking stout as those cars about double file, just like they got off the restart.
Yeah, of course, Iowa with that progressive banking really translates over to side-by-side racing. Unfortunately, the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour race at Iowa Speedway that was supposed to be run last year, but it was a victim of the COVID-19 pandemic. And I think this is kind of an idea of what we were missing there. Of course, this track not as smooth as it used to be.
Yeah, it's got a little more bumps, a little more characteristics over the past few years. But Richmond, yeah, it used to be a smooth track, but it's definitely built more character. Or it's Iowa, not Richmond. I'm sorry, Iowa. And
we've seen the tour later on in the year, though.
Yeah.
As we see, Rasmus has been able to take over the second position, eyeing Wilkinson lead, but we are side by side behind there as we see Blake Barney moving up on the outside. Of course, Blake Barney, one of the modified racers in the real world.
Yeah, Blake Barney usually shows speed anytime he comes out, and one of those real world modified drivers moving himself up. And let's see, he's back in that fifth position in that red machine, moving on up, looking pretty stout right now. And one of those Fury modifieds it looks like he's got going on here tonight, showing speed, working up into fourth.
Of course, Barney out of the state of New Jersey. He's run the Wheel and Modified Tour before, but you want to see him most weeks at Wall Stadium out there on the New Jersey shore.
Yeah, and another real world guy who attempted the Indy 500 back in '6 was trying to work his way up is R.C. Enerson. Just missed out on getting into the Indy 500 and joins us back with the regular guys in Elite as we have another caution as now we're starting to get a little bit of trend here.
Yep, as it's Anderson just got in that position from Ryan Gavel. Has been good to work with Gavel in the real world. He's been helping us out on the Speed 51 crew for a lot of our Northeast broadcasts this year, and looking forward to seeing him tomorrow at Seekonk Speedway.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see him out there, and we'll see what brought out the latest yellow. And I'm wondering if it was Zach Evans. It looked like he was having some issues.
Goodness gracious! Speed 51 crew is not doing themselves any favors. Might have been connection issues again.
Yeah, it looks. Ooh, a couple cars involved here. This might even started with the 89 of Brett Jones. See if I can get him up on here.
It looks like Zach might have gotten collected in one here.
Yeah, it appears that there's a wreck ahead of him. Ooh, Brett Jones gets involved, collects Zach T. Evans, but that looked like it started a couple cars ahead of the 89. Was that? I'm not sure if that was not Jeff Green. I'm wondering if that was again Brandon Paul. No, he looks to be in good shape. Spinning around there. Let's see if we can get that view. It's a 61
one.
of Brian Kramer. So he went around for a spin here. We'll go back, rewind, and look
Uh,
at the replay. Ooh, he looks like he
oh,
might
yeah, no.
have got help from the 18 of Jeff Green. Sends him around.
Yep, there you go.
And then Brett Jones nowhere to go. Zach T. Evans nowhere to go as well. And looks like some heavy damage to that 61 car. Might have some motor issues. And see if he can get. Yeah, he's on pit road along with the 89. And even Zach T. Evans as well. But again, your current leader, that 56 of Brandon Wilkinson, looking pretty stout right now.
And of course, Wilkinson in the real world, will spot just about anything from pro stocks, modifieds, right on up to the NASCAR Xfinity Series. He's been just about everywhere, as well. He's teamed with the likes of Ty Majeski for some of his super late model exploits as well.
Yeah, he's been almost every time I see him out on the track, he's up front. He's winning races, and yeah. So and he's does the spotter stuff, and I believe that's his Twitter handle as well, isn't it? Spotter Wilkes.
Spotter Wilkes.
Yeah. So good on the racetrack, good spotter as well in profession. So he stays in the real racing world scene. Fun to see. And how about Ryan Gavel worked his way up into the third position? So your top 5 right now is Wilkinson, Rasmus, Fody, Barney, and Drunowski. And that's your top 5. Rounding out the top 10 will be R.C. Enerson, Ryan Gavel, the short track kid, Austin Beers, another real-world modified driver in Pennsylvania. And
yep, it's done really well at the Mahoning Valley Speedway and the Evergreen Raceway.
Yeah, he's I believe he's been one of the Speed 51 top 100 drivers that they do. He's been for the past two years, I believe he was ranked.
I believe he might have, yep, in the short track draft. I'd have to double check, but I believe he might have made the top 51 this year. I'll have, you know what, I'm going to double check on that for you. It's been a while. We did that about a month ago. Speed 51, of course. Derek Griffith getting voted the top short track prospect for 2021.
Yeah, and even Beers, I believe that's one of the cars that he runs. Very similarly painted. He runs at Mahoney Valley.
Yeah, these real world guys, they always like to match up their cars to the real deal.
Well,
give some mojo.
Heck, if I had a real world race car, I'd do the same thing, so I can't blame him. We're getting ready to go back green as you see the field double filing up to get the restart going. It'll be coming to lap 44. And
yep, by the way, the answer on Beers, he was number 40 in the 2021 short track draft on Speed 51 this year. So, and he's got, his dad is one of the best out of Pennsylvania, and he's even getting tips from one of the main men right now in modified racing, Matt Hirschman.
Oh wow! So, yeah, he's got some good people to kind of lead him along the way, and I believe he even moved up from the 2020 short track draft as we get going back green, and Wilkinson getting a good jump once again. Fody on the inside, see if he can make it stick on the bottom, trying to get past Rasmus. And they're going to battle side by side for that second position. That's where the action is on track right now. And it seems like here at Iowa usually too, where, again, kind of like Richmond, where I was getting confused where we're at here for a second. Very similarly shaped racetrack, a little bit bigger. But again, on that outside, as you see Rasmus able to hold off Tyler Fody, for the most part, it's looked like Fody's trying to dig in deep, but Barney here is trying to throw his hat in the ring as well. But even in these modifieds, getting that run on the outside is pretty big key.
Yeah, Barney, I think he might be trying to find somebody that's big wreck there.
One thing for sure, everybody on the racetrack will be pissed off.
That was Rasmus, and that battle just heating up a little bit too much. As we'll get back here and see what exactly brought out this latest yellow, as we were kind of keeping an eye on it. And it looks like, started with a little contact between, I believe, the 40 and the 70, making that contact, and then Barney got into him.
Yeah, they've definitely banged wheels out there. Hard to see. It kind of looks like they just kind of came together at the same time, just one of them racing incidents, as they say.
Yeah, and that's exactly. They were running hard. You know, it was battle for second position, and I'm going to take a look here and see how bad Blake Barney got involved in this wreck too. You've seen him darting down the track after they made contact.
Yeah, I think he's done, unfortunately.
Take a peek here. Oh, yeah, that was a hard lick to the front end.
Thankfully, nobody else got collected. And he almost got turned over there.
That could have been a very interesting, flip. It looks like he's still rolling, but definitely, I wonder if that hard of a hit. Sometimes these modifieds on iRacing, they can take a pretty good shot to that front end and not lose horsepower, but that might be borderline there for that 14 car, Blake Barney. We'll see him getting his service on pit road and still up front. Brandon Wilkinson leading the race. Tyler Fody in second. R.C. Enerson in third. And that short track kid, just talking about him at last caution, he's up into the fourth position. Ryan Gavel moves up into the fifth spot.
And we were wondering about if Jake Kaner could make some progress up through the fields, but he has been a no-show. I think he might be out of this one.
Let's see. Where is he at? Kanner is the 9. Trying to find him on the chart. He is in the top 10 now, so he's slowly moving through.
Yep, I was looking in the wrong place, so my bad there. But
so was I. Don't feel bad.
Hey, give him credits though. He's been able to avoid a lot of the chaos out there, and he is slowly but surely making his way back forwards, and got plenty of time to do this. We're not even halfway through this one.
Yeah, and how much does this play into his hands for Jay that, you know, he did pit earlier, a lot earlier than, again, the guys that he's trying to work his way around here, moving up through the field. But running a lot of these laps now under caution, that's got to be playing in his favor for when and if, I guess, if those Wilkinson and the rest of those leaders decide to pit.
Yep, as we see Brendan Madonia in front of him is a very smart-looking paint job. Nice throwback to one of the paint schemes run by the legendary car owner Mario Fiore, too. Very similar to the one that won the championship at the hands of Jerry Marquis in 2000.
Oh, wow. Kicking it back 21 years? Wow. That 2000 doesn't seem like it was that long ago.
Yeah, I should know. That was the first World Series that I attended, actually.
Oh, nice.
Yep, fun times, too. Been always good when these guys dish out the old modified schemes that have been run over the years.
Yeah.
Here,
since you're probably a little bit more familiar with a lot of these throwbacks, and you'll be more familiar with the modifieds. I do know one because I painted this one. Chad Frankenfield kind of tried to do my best to make the Ted Christopher.
Absolutely, I absolutely love this car.
And
there's also a documentary that just came out over the weekend. That's on YouTube. Really good guy, Bonsa. Did a heck of a job. I haven't seen it. I've seen the previews. I haven't been able to get an opportunity to watch the documentary in full, but I've heard nothing but rave reviews from people who have been able to see it. I cannot wait to look at it.
I might have to check that out. You know, I knew that Ted Christopher was a legendary modified driver, but you know, following more of the Cup Series NASCAR circuit, probably the more what I was familiar with is a few runs, I believe, at New Hampshire in the Cup Series, filling in for, I believe it was Kirk Shelmerdine's team back in maybe the early 2000s. But kind of learning more about his story would be definitely a fun trip to go down.
It is worth it. And just one of the great personalities, one of the very unique personalities, to say the least, in our sports. Unfortunately,
green flag
too soon, as we are green as we hit the halfway point.
Yeah, just getting going here, as Wilkinson did not get as great of a restart as he has before, and Tyler Fody on the inside battling hard, trying to take that lead. But
as we got a lot of jockeying for position behind, but bodies
man.
at the nose in front as they are just leaning on each other here.
Oh, I thought Wilkinson was going to get in the wall, able to stay off, but man, this tight race and throw a blanket over the top 6 there as they are just duking it out, trying to settle this, but especially that battle for the lead here not being settled quite yet between the 40 and the 56, Fody and Wilkinson. Who's gonna take that advantage right now? Fody looks like he's gone ahead and taken it, but Ryan Gavel and Blake Barney. Wow.
Ever so briefly. And Wilkinson, he's back to the inside. He tried the crossover move the last lap, but Fody, he's got the speed on the outside as well as that inside line. But Wilkinson, he really drives it in there. Wilkinson, he's no, he can't get clear.
He can't.
Oh my goodness, what a race we got here for the lead as Anderson moves it up into 3rd position.
Yeah, he's trying to pick what line is trying to move forward, but right now, side by side, nothing getting settled here between Fody and Wilkinson. Man, I wonder maybe is Anderson going to try to make it 3 wide?
Well, I think he's learned his lesson there as we see Austin Beers is up into the top 5 now. Here comes Gabel to the inside. He's going to make it 2 by 2.
4-car race for the lead here on lap 55 of 100 in the Iowa 100 for the Maconi Setup Shops modified series. Man, what a battle for the lead here. I don't think we could ask for anything better here.
This is racing at Iowa at its best. We've seen this, especially in some of the early years with the IndyCar series here, just being able to say side by side, lap after lap after lap. These guys on the Elite Modified Tour are putting on a heck of a show as Fody now with the edge with a little bit of drafting help from behind from Anderson.
How much does the draft play into effect for these modifieds, especially at a little bit bigger track here for these modifieds at Iowa?
It's a huge effect. As Anderson gets turned from behind.
Oh, he's falling back, trying to see if I can get a camera on him. Oh, gets hit there by the 7 of Joshua Personette.
Austin Beers is in the crash as well.
Oh, man, the short track kid. Oh, no. We'll have to take a look and what brought out that yellow.
I think we might still be green.
Oh, there's still green flag. That did not bring out a yellow. We'll try to take a look quick and then get back to the action to see what.
I think. I think you're going to see it right here.
Here's getting involved and kind of stuck on him T-boned as they both go around.
Yep, as Darrell Canfield, nice job. He got into the back bumper of Beers a little bit, but he was able to boy it. But boy, tough break for R.C. Anderson. And what can you say about Beers? He kind of did it to himself as now the yellow is out and Tyler Fody being scored as the leader.
Yeah, still hanging on to that lead. And Mandonia is worked his way up in that 44. The paint scheme we were just talking about in that previous yellow worked his way up into the 4th position. So how about that? Maybe now moving to the 3rd after it looks like Wilkinson goes down pit road.
Yep, so Wilkinson's going to get his service. We were wondering when, and yeah, about 40 laps to go. I'd say this is about the time. And he can work the traffic as Goody. To answer your question about the draft, since we got a little bit of time here, yes, these cars, with the way the draft works, modifieds, they're not aerodynamic cars, as you can imagine, between not only the big rear spoiler that they got on these cars, but just the tires themselves. How, these are big old 15-inch tires, and just the way the car works, it just, despite the fact that they are very low to the ground, you take a look at a modified, even compared to a late model, they are just super low to the ground, whereas it looks like in a cup car, you're up in the clouds. But these cars, they punch a very big hole in the air. And, I was wondering how these cars would race at Iowa, considering that you don't have as long a straightaway as you would say at a track like New Hampshire Motor Speedway, where the draft is just paramount on the straightaways, so you can set up these dive bomb shots into the corners. But I think we're really seeing the effects of the draft here at Iowa just with the facts that even though you can't really use as much of the power on the straightaways, they can carry a lot of speed through these banked corners.
Yeah, and that does translate even to real life as well. I mean, it's not just iRacing thing with as far as the draft's concerned.
Yeah, you can see draft work for modified races at even smaller tracks, like Thompson, which is 5/8 of a mile. Same thing with Oswego or Stafford, and really have to go down to the quarter-mile tracks where the aerodynamics don't quite have as much of an effect. But yeah, once you get to a track that's a half mile on up, it has a big effect for these races, and you got to know how to draft if you want to win in modified racing at these big tracks.
Well, see, that's probably why when I ran this modified series in Elite, that's probably why I struggled. I didn't master the draft here, as I didn't utilize that as much. I knew at like New Hampshire tracks like that, it played a pretty big role, but kind of interesting to know how short of a track they can get down to and how it can be important for them. So very interesting series, and anything that I've seen with these modifieds, just they can put on a good show. So if you ever get an opportunity out there, if you're out there watching, go check them out. I mean, even modifieds at your local short track, even if it's not the NASCAR Wheeling modifieds, usually you can find some modified series in just about every state across the country. So check them out. They put on a pretty good show.
Well, my home state of Connecticut, of course, everybody down at Bowman Gray Stadium in North Carolina says, "Oh yeah, we're the modified capital of the world." No. It's here in Connecticut. This is the epicenter of modified racing between the Saturday weekly shows at Stafford with the SK Modifieds. Of course, you got the New London Waterford Speed Bowl. They run weekly on Saturdays, and you got the part-time schedule with Thompson Speedway. In fact, the next race at Thompson is coming up a week from tomorrow. So we got another Wednesday show coming up, as we're going to have the Open Outlaw Series as well as the Sunoco Modifieds and the SK Lights. And that race will also be live on speed51.tv. 6 o'clock, I believe, will be post time. That will be, again, a week from tomorrow, June 16th.
That'd be I think that'll be a good show to watch there. So be sure to check that out on Speed 51.
It's always a great show at the Big T, but we still got a race here as Tyler Foddy going to have the leads along with Ryan Gavel on the front row.
Yeah, and Foddy getting a great start on that outside, and Gavel's going to try to follow suit on that outside, as this is probably one of the better restarts we've seen all day for the leader, as he's going to pull out to about almost a tenth and a half lead as Gavel's diving hard, trying to get back to that back bumper of the 40 car of Tyler Foddy, but right now leading that lap. Give it to the 40 car. Let's see if Gavel has anything for him, as laps are kind of winding down here in the Iowa 100.
Yep, and again, these guys up in front, they haven't pitted as well, as we see Wilkinson back in 10th position right now on the serial scoring. But Foddy getting a little bit of pressure now as Gavel, he goes right down to that low line in the apron of the racetrack.
Yeah, and he's trying to make that move, but not quite there yet. But he's digging deep. He's looking for it. And I was looking at Jake Canor, who pitted the earlier. Now he's back to 12th, so now he's behind Wilkinson after he might have pitted a second time here as well. It appears he did. So he's got some even more work to do to try to get back up into that top 10.
Very surprising. Guess just something awry with the setup on that car that he's not to his liking, and he's been trying to sort it all out. But tell you what, though, it's opened an opportunity for these guys up in front as we see Drubitsky now on the back of Gavel for the second spot.
Yeah, he's trying to get that spot, that number 57 machine, trying to make a move for that second spot, as right now it's the top three single files kind of checking out from the rest of the field here, as Mandonia is currently in fourth. And one guy we haven't talked about worked his way into the top five, just kind of staying out of trouble, is that 81 of Jack Ellie. And
Ely,
Ely,
another one of Yep, one of the real world racers out there, and he's just been able to get there as we see Ray Fadaruso behind him. I'm not sure, he might be related to the Fadaruso family in New Jersey. You have to do a little research on there going forward into the Elite Modified season.
Yeah, well, to check that out, he has a pretty beautiful colored scheme there. Nice chrome on the car.
Very similar to Gary McDonald's scheme that he runs on the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour. Very similar.
Nice. We'll check back up front to the lead, and so far, Fody able to hold it off. Fody's trying to look, but I think right now his best bet's probably just to stick to that back bumper. Just talk about how, you're talking about how important the draft is. Just try to maybe set this up for a little bit later in the run.
Fody's doing a really good job. He's kind of running this line that's sort of lower to middle, and he's kind of throwing some dirty air on the right front of Ryan Galvo's car, actually the left front there. So just trying to break the draft. It's another thing that you got to learn to do. Modifies is to disrupt the airflow and force that dirty air onto the driver behind you, because if you can do that, they ain't going to make a move on you.
Yeah, and so far, Galvo, all he can do is kind of peek, but right now, Fody having about a 0.2 of a second lead over Ryan Galvo, as he's kind of pulling away a little bit here on the live scoring. And right now, it's almost a 3-car battle now for that second spot, as Galvo's going to have all he can handle from Drunowski and Madonia.
Really like the look on Galvo's car, talking about tribute schemes here. This one very similar to one that was run by the late Wade Cole, who fortunately passed away in the off season of 2020, just a little over a year ago. Cole always seemed to come out for every race, despite him being one of the smaller teams out there, just a few people on that car, but he always made the trip, even made the trip down to Bristol Motor Speedway a couple of times, open trailer and all.
Oh, wow. From the little I knew of Cole, kind of reading up on him, is that he was kind of like, I guess in my world, NASCAR Cup world, kind of like a J.D. McDuffie, the last of the kind of shoestring budgets, and just going out there just because he loved racing and just showed up every week.
Jody, you are on it. Very, very similar stories, I think, between the two. He's from a different part of the Connecticut. The racetracks, they're kind of the eastern half of the states, whereas he's from the western half of the state, kind of from where I am. And there's not a whole lot to do with racing from where we are. You kind of have to travel to other parts of the states. But tell you what, though, Ryan Galvo, very nice looking car, and he is giving it a good run here. But he has some company now, as Trubisky really putting the pressure on here, as you see the 44 also closing in here. So the top 4 are in lockstep going for it here as we hit the 3/4 mark.
Yes, that gap's closing just ever so slightly between him and Galvo, as it was spreading out almost to 0.3 of a second. Fody's now under 0.2 of a second, or Galvo's a little less than 0.2 of a second behind Tyler Fody, but still trying to set up that run, as now he's got that help behind him from those other 3 cars. Can he make it work?
Oh, by the way, Brandon Wilkinson is back up to the 5th position, and he is starting to close up on these guys.
I think it's time to start playing the Jaws music here.
I'll tell you what, too, he is close enough now to smell the draft. Brandon Wilkinson, he's going to be right back in the thick of things, I think, in the next few laps or so.
Yeah, especially the way these guys are duking it out up front. Galvo still not able to quit quite close enough to Fody to make a move. But Drunowski, it's almost like he's maybe trying to keep himself into check, not to make that move on Ryan Galvo to break that draft, to get Wilkinson up there.
Yeah, Fody's liking this little jockeying for position behind, as he's been able to open up about a 2 to 3 car length leads, kind of fluctuating a little bit when they go from the corners to the straightaways. But though, he's sitting pretty right now, at least for now. Again, going to be interesting once that 56 car gets into the picture.
Yeah, it's hard to ever count out Wilkinson in a race, that's for sure, especially in these modifieds, as he did dominate the series last season, looking to go for 2 in a row for the Elite Modified Series here, sponsored by Maconi Setup Shops. Right now, Tyler Fode still hanging on to that lead. Like I said, doing masterful work to not being a sitting duck with that draft, able to kind of hold that lead pretty steady. But as I say that, Gavel makes one dive bomb move into the corner, but seems like he just can't make it stick getting out of the corners.
Yeah, Ryan, he knows it's crunch time here, especially with that 56 lurking back there. Although, now that they've kind of gotten back into line, though, they're opened up on Wilkinson just a little bits there.
Yeah, it looks like he was getting in there. I mean, before we kind of seen him a little bit in the frame there, but I think they were a lot closer, just a handful of laps to go. Or Wilkinson was a lot closer, so they probably know it's maybe play nice for now, try to get ahead of that 56 car, and settle it amongst themselves. And so far that's working, but there's still roughly about 17 laps to go in this event. Oh, but as I say that, looks like Gavel's going to lose that second spot.
Dranowski able to get underneath, but Gavel with a big run on the outside.
Almost.
He's going to retake that second position. Oh, almost contact between the two. There might have been a little bit there as there was a big twitch as Cody kind of opening up there is now another twitch from Dranowski. And oh, man. Yeah. There is a lot of bumper tag going on out there right now.
Yeah, they are.
Horn, that's what we call it.
Yeah, they are aggressive at it, not being shy, but that still hasn't quite brought in Wilkinson. I thought maybe with those guys running side, but actually now that I say that, he is closing that gap up just a little bit, so that kind of opened the door for Wilkinson.
Oh yeah, the second these guys started to go at it again, you knew Wilkinson was going to reel him in right away now, but time is running out as we are down now to 15 to go.
Yeah, 15 laps to go, and even maybe bringing the 26 and the 81 into the picture now as well with some of that battling, as they're kind of grouping up, trying to catch Wilkinson too, maybe help him get up into that top 4 positions.
Don't count out Brendan Madonia too in that 4th position. He was making a move there that last lap.
Yeah, he's kind of been sitting there. I think maybe saving a little bit here as it looks like I'm wondering how Gavel is going to hang on. You know, Gavel always fast, but he even self-proclaims himself he's not a good tire manager. He's kind of foot on the throttle all the time, but so far able to hold on that second spot.
Yeah, you can tell that Gavel is kind of on the defensive right now. He's not taking the fight to body like he did about 20 laps ago, as he has the 57.
He's trying to make that
of
move.
Dranowski all over him. As now Foddy, he gets a little bit high. Here comes Gavel to the inside.
Yeah, just like that, that lead gets shrunk up quite a bit, as now Madonia is going on the inside of Dranowski and battling for that 3rd spot, and I bet you that 56 of Wilkinson's going to love to see that, as he's going to oh,
he's there.
Oh, he's there. Oh, I thought they were going to make contact there for a second.
Oh, hold your breath. They were able to hold on to it, though, as Madonia, he's going to have to go back to the line. So everybody holds their position right now as we now 5 cars going for the win with 10 to go.
10 to go, and a caution's out, and they're going to bunch them up here, and we're going to settle this one.
Man, restarts have been crazy.
And, oh, man, I wonder, I seen Austin Beers. We'll take a look and see what happened on that replay. See if we can find out what happened. I want to see if Austin Beers was the car that got involved, as he all of a sudden dropped a bunch of positions, and yep.
Oh. Let's see.
Let's see what happened here. Ooh,
and he had help.
He had help from the 21 of Thomas Capuano, and oh, heavy contact there, and oh, a couple other cars getting involved. We'll get another angle there I'm not quite sure what car got into him there.
Yeah, Capuano. He's a Long Island guy, and you know those Long they like to play rough with all the happenings that goes on at the tight little bull ring that is Riverhead Raceway.
Let's see if we can find who made contact there. Trying to find the car on the screen. No, I'm not getting much luck here. Oh, it was a 17 of Daryl Canfield that made the heavy contact.
Oh, no.
Hate to see that kind of spinning right in front of me. Oh!
Oh!
Man, he went for a ride there.
Of course, Daryl, one of the Speed 51 crew that's in the race. So, yeah, I've got some texting to do after this one is over. Actually, I might just do it right now.
See, there's a lot of crap you can talk. But Daryl Canfield, one of the good guys here. Anytime he runs in the elite racing leagues, always enjoyed racing.
Always got some of the best looking cars. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, he always has one of the most beautiful cars, and I swear he has some of the worst luck too, with just not having anywhere to go, trying to avoid the 45 of Austin Beers, unable to do so.
Yeah, he's always the butt of just about every iRacing joke when we get together for one of our major events.
Yeah, man, oh man, and for the most part, a lot of the incidents he gets are none of his doing, just gets collected into it, and unfortunately, looks like his night will end a little early here for that 17 car, as Tyler Fode's still holding on to lead.
Yep, and his response to that, if you can't win, be spectacular.
Yeah, that's what sometimes I always have that feeling when I'm out there on track. If you can't get on TV for being up front, you might as well go out in a blaze of glory and get on a replay.
Yep. So, but you know, he's definitely one of the good ones out there. Always does great work for us over at Speed 51. And speaking again of Speed 51, if you want some real world racing this week, we've got a lot coming up. Again, tomorrow night, Seekonk Speedway, the Boston Louis Memorial for the ISMA Super Modifieds, the season opener for the ISMA Super Modifieds, and the NEMA Midgets and the NEMA Lights going to be on hand. Some of the fastest open wheel racing divisions in all of short track racing. I was going to say the Northeast, but really all of short track racing.
Wow.
Great show. We're also going to be back up at Wiscasset Speedway on Saturday nights as well for the Coastal 200, which was supposed to be run on Memorial Day Sunday, but unfortunately was rained out after heat racing in that one. And also, again, a week from Wednesday, Thompson Speedway, the round number 2 of the season there for the oval divisions there. Open Outlaw Modified Series, Sunoco Modifieds, SK Lights, late models, street stocks, mini stocks. It's going to be a very fun time at the Big T. That will be, again, a week from Wednesday. Again, Seekonk Speedway tomorrow night. Cannot wait. It's been also almost... Seekonk Speedway was one of the tracks that was shuttered last year. They got in about a handful of events with their smaller Friday divisions, but those were close to the public. They've been back for a month already with their Saturday divisions, and they've been packing the place, and this is going to be their first major event there. And we at Speed 51 are very excited to be going back to the Cement Palace.
Oh yeah, it's got to be cool getting back after COVID last year, getting back some of these events that were canceled, especially very early on in the going. I know some of them kind of ran, where I'm originally from, Wisconsin area. Slinger National is always kind of fun to go to as well, and
one of my favorite races. A lot of my P51 colleagues have gone. It's definitely one that's on my bucket list. One of these days, I'll get up there. But in the meantime, we're back at it. Going to be 4 laps to go, and Foddy shot out of a cannon.
Wow, that was... I thought his last restart was the best one. Chalk it up to that one. That was a great restart for him, as Gavel's still going to file into second. Drunowski in third. As I was kind of curious to see if Wilkinson can make a move here with 5 to go, but that's going to be a pretty tough gap to make up in 5 laps the way Fody checked out on the field here.
Yep, it's now going to be 4 laps to go. As here comes Janowski to the inside of Gavel. Gavel, I think he's trying to possibly wait for some drafting help to go for the win here, but I think Janowski, I think all the cooperation is out on the window here, or as Garrett Walter would say, co-opetition.
Co-opetition, and you know, oh, there's a big wreck on the front stretch.
Oh, wow.
What you got going on out there, bud?
Oh, man.
Yellow is out.
Yellow is out. 3 laps to go, so maybe a green-white checkered finish here, so we'll see what happened there. That was a spectacular wreck to bring out this latest yellow. And we'll check out what happened there. As, man, that did not look good.
A lot of cars came to it.
Let's see what started this incident. I think I found it.
Yep.
It's the 81.
It's Jack Ely.
Ely and the 03 getting into it. Oh, flipping. Oh, someone got lucky. A couple of cars got lucky going through. Oh. As that does not look good for Ely there. And the 03 was the other car, I believe, or was it the 08 of Keeler? No, it wasn't the I'm trying to see the other car that might have got involved there that flipped.
Yeah, I believe that was the 03.
It looked like it, but it might be okay. I think it's the 07
Nope.
on the scorcher. Oh, it is the 07. It looked like a 3 from here. See, he went for a ride there as well, but a couple cars. Sometimes in iRacing you get lucky. Besides these 2 guys, a couple of guys going through, net coding through guys, and fortunately missed that wreck. But that's Patrick Hahi getting involved. He's out.
Figures and that's another member of the Speed 51 crew. And unfortunately, he's the one who caused this one. Patrick, naughty.
Man, you got a lot of texting to do after this race. A lot of your Speed 51 boys causing some trouble here. Or getting into trouble.
I've got something on everybody tonight here. Except, though, for the newest member of the Speed 51 crew, Ryan Gavel, who has a shot at this one. Although, see him running on the flat part of the track. That's right. He has not pitted. These front guys have not pitted. They might be close on fuel here, Goody.
Oh, boy. That giving up that track position. Looks like he's staying out. Maybe trying to save a little bit.
Trying to keep the engine running. These are on iRacing. This is a pretty ultra realistic simulation, and I think they're going on the basis that the fuel pickup is as accurate as it is in the real world.
Yeah.
Of course, the pick in the right side of the car.
Yeah, trying to make sure that those engines don't stall. I'm sure even trying to push the clutch in, save as much gas as you possibly can. See if he can survive this green-white checkered, but makes me nervous when people do that. Right before the green-white checkered, because say if there's another caution, and I think we only get one shot at a green-white checkered. Can he make it back around even under yellow flag conditions if this gets drawn out a little bit?
And should these guys run out that haven't pitted, the highest of the guys that has pitted, Brandon Wilkinson.
Yep, Brandon Wilkinson did pit. And, yeah, the top 3 did not stay out, along with Madonia in 5th position right now, being scored in 5th. I think he's going to be up in 4th. So your top 4 did not pit.
I think they're doubling up here.
Yeah, they're doubling up, getting ready to go back green. So we're going to settle this one out here with the green-white checkered finish. Hopefully stays green. See if Gavel has any.
Gavel really taking it easy. I think he's pretty nervous right now with the fuel, as Bodie electing to take the outside line, which, man, I don't know if it's an easy or hard decision, as that 40 car has run well just about everywhere on track since he got into the lead, just enjoying that clean air.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Seems like if he picks the high or low side, but I believe those last 2 restarts he took were on the outside, and he had it hooked up, and he got gone. If he I think if he has anything like his last restart, it's going to be pretty much in the bag, but we'll see if Gavel has anything for him.
We're going to go another lap here.
One other lap. Oh, yeah, the pace car lights are still on. See if they go out this time by. And they do. So now we'll see them double up. And we'll see how aggressive a lot of these guys are going to be on the restart. I'm sure your newest member, Speed 51, he's going to be on it as well. And these two guys, Fody and Gavel, they're teammates in the tomorrow night. You'll see them right here on ERN, or the real ERN. Right now we're not broadcasting on the real Elite Racing Network, but they'll be teammates in the Cup Series. But right now they're battling out for a win. Let's see who can be superior.
And I got to give Ryan a big shout out. Says give you a little bit behind the scenes info. If you watched on the broadcast of the Modified Racing Series in Monadnock Speedway this past Saturday night, he was on camera for that one as well. So gave everybody some great pictures. All right, here we go. Tyler Fody, the leader, he's on the outside. Ryan Gavel, the inside. Dranowski and Wilkinson. As we got a big stack up behind. As Gavel, I think he spun the tires on the restart, as Fody's going to slide right in front of him.
Yeah, I think Fody was trying to snooker him on the restart and did so, and stacked the field up behind him. They'll give him a 0.2 of a second lead as we head down to the white flag. And right now it's all Fody. And looks like Wilkinson's making contact with Mandonia as they're beating back and forth as they're trying to sell it out for the 4th spot here as we go into the white flag.
It's going to be 3 cars to sell it here as Fody the leader, Gavel in second, and Dranowski in third. Gavel, he's going to make a dive to the inside. Gavel really hanging on the apron of the track, but it's not going to be enough. Fody.
Oh, let's gather it.
Fody gets the checkered flag.
Oh, man. Fody gets the checkered flag. And how about that? Dranowski gets in the back of Gavel, slowed down enough, let Gavel collect it. He was able to hold on to second, and Dranowski, he had Wilkinson and Mandonia coming hot on their heels, but able to hold on for third. What a finish there. But how about Tyler Fody picking up win number 1 here in the 2021 first race for the Maconi Setup Shops Elite Racing Modified Series.
Yep, just a great job, really, just to control the racing line out there. Is Gavel? I think you made a good point, Goody. I think he kind of used some of his stuff there. He was able to stay in front of everybody, but just did not have enough to go on the offensive. His whole little contact doing donuts. That's a new one there.
It kind of helped spin around there a little bit.
Yeah, usually you don't see that at Saturday nights when I'm on the clock for Speed 51.
Yeah, that probably that probably end poorly for everyone involved if that happened in the real world there on Speed 51. But again, Tyler Fody picking up the win there.
Yeah, so got to give a hand to Ryan Gavel as he definitely held on the flag for the Speed 51 crew tonight here on the Maconi Race Setups Elite Modified Tour.
Yeah, and we didn't really, again, kind of technical difficulties, impromptu kind of broadcast here tonight. So hopefully next week will go a little bit smoother. But one thing I got to say about Maconi Setups, I used it actually for the first time last night in a open truck series race, in the official race. And normally I'm pretty not too good with setups, but did download one of the Maconi setups just to try it out, and showed some speed, contended for the win. And usually a track like Texas, it's an open setup. It's not my cup of tea, so those setups work. So if you're out there listening, need some good setups, check them out at MaconiSetupsShop.com. But it looks like we do have our at least top 2 finishers here, and Ryan Gavel and Tyler Fody in the waiting room here. So we'll get first we'll bring in our second place finisher in the booth, and we can see what's going on with him. And Gavel, do you got a copy?
I got you.
Got us. Yeah, appears like you were lurking for a little bit, but maybe used up your stuff. Did you have anything for Fody there at the end?
Maybe if we had a couple more laps, I could have really reeled him in. But I mean, he got a really good jump on the last restart, and I couldn't really get to him. So, it is what it is. We didn't plan on doing the stay out the whole way strategy, but the way the cautions fell, I mean, I finished the race with 0.2 gallons left in the tank. I mean, I had less than a lap of fuel left when we crossed the line, so we cut it really, really close there. But we got lucky that paid off, and I thought I was burnt out at the first half of the race. I fell back really fast, and I thought I was burnt up. And then it kind of just came to me around halfway, and I hung in there and got second. I'm happy with it, and happy Fody got the win. Had a good race throughout. The whole thing was a ton of fun.
Ryan, it's Connor. Great race out there, man. I was telling everybody what a great job you did on behind the camera of the Speed 51 broadcasts back on Saturday nights, and man, you still definitely show that you can wheel a modified. They're certainly the best of the Speed 51 crew that was out there tonight. I think everybody else got into a wreck at some point.
I think me and Mark might have been the only two that finished. But I was talking to you on Saturday there saying hopefully I get to talk to you after this race gets done. And after the first half and how that went, I didn't think I was going to be. But pulled out a really good strategy call there. Fody decided that maybe we should do the opposite of Wilkinson. And we did. We were going to pit at the next caution. And then we were like, well, actually, we might be able to make it on fuel if we get one more caution. And there was another one with, I think, 15 to go. And that saved us. But yeah, I'm happy to be up here. I'm gladly take a P2 to start the season off. And hopefully we can continue with some consistency here.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yep. I got to ask, how did the tires wear out there? Again, you were able to really put on a good defensive job ahead of some of these guys.
Yeah, I was surprised that fresh tires meant not as much as I thought they were. I thought these guys that came in were going to charge through the field and just absolutely blow by everybody. But a couple guys short pitted kind of early, and I noticed they really weren't going anywhere. And I was like, well, maybe they don't mean that much. And then Wilkinson came in and got up to fifth, and me and the 57 and the 44 were all on the original tires. And I mean, he only passed one of us and finished fourth once he got up to fifth. So it surprised me how little that these the new tires meant, and I didn't think I'd be able to hold on to a top five even with old tires, seeing the amount of guys that came in. So I was surprised how well the old tires held up here in a 105 lap race it turned out to be.
Yeah, again, a good second place finish to start off your season here in the Elite Racing League's Maconi Setup Shop Modified Series. But next week we will head to Bristol. And I guess before we let you go, any shout-outs you want to give, and what are you thinking your shots are once we head to the Great Coliseum?
Well, yeah, first off, I got to thank Maconi Setup Shop for sponsoring the series. I got to thank Chad and everybody for running the league, you guys up here in the booth. Tyler Fody for working with me as a teammate during this one. It obviously worked out pretty well here, 1-2. And heading into Bristol next week, well, I mean, I really don't know. I like the track. Haven't raced a tour mod on iRacing there in a while, so I'll have to do some laps. But we'll see. I have high hopes, and as long as we can keep some consistency going with some top five finishes, I think we can pull off a good season here. So I have high hopes for Bristol next week, but we'll see how it goes. It can go anyway at the last Great Coliseum there.
Hey, Ryan, we'll see you at Seekonk tomorrow.
Sounds like a plan, man. I'll see you there.
That was Ryan Gavel finishing in second position, and look like he's got some work to do as well tomorrow night. So you get.
Yeah, we got. Yep, we're gonna have. I think about the entire New England crew out there tomorrow night. Says it'll be myself, Ryan, as well as leads editor Brandon Paul and Ian Pettigrew. We're all heading out to the Cement Palace, the action track of the East, Seekonk Speedway.
Ooh, so you hopefully keep him out of the Cup race here for the Elite Racing Network. It maybe gives me a chance for running a little bit better. But now we'll bring in the winner of the Iowa 100 here tonight, and that's going to be Tyler Fody. As we bring him in, hopefully the right room here. There we go. Tyler Fody, our winner here. Once you got up front, you kind of never looked back. Tell us a little bit about how your race went here tonight.
was awesome, man. This was one of the most fun races I've had. Having never driven these things before, it was a heck of a way to start it out. Yeah, it was fun. I think we started 6th or 7th there, and I was trying to see what everyone else was doing, get a feel for it. And I know Wilkinson is pretty good in these things, and once we had worked our way up behind him in that first half of the race, just seeing what he was doing, seeing where I could kind of be a little better, worked out pretty well. And then he came into pit, and yeah, I think from there, Gavel and I were planning on pit if we got a little bit of a short run. And then we went back on that and decided we were just going to stay out the rest of the way. And it came really, really close with the fuel. He was at 0.2 gallons and I was 0.3 or 4 there. So another lap we would have might have been running out. But all in all, it was a really fun race. I'm looking forward to coming back next week.
Boy, Tyler, I got to say, for someone who has never really been behind the wheel of a modified on iRacing, you certainly got the craft of working the drafts on down out there. Very impressive stuff.
It was Gavel has driven these things before, my teammate, and was kind of giving me some pointers here and there on what to be looking for. And it did help that we were at Iowa here, a track I'm pretty familiar with and have run a bunch of the stock cars in. So I think that combined with the help of Gavel here really helped get the result.
Yeah, and Connor was saying you were looking masterfully, did everything perfect. Yeah, you almost I never would have guessed that was one of your first times out there in the modified, and paid off real well for you. But as Iowa track you're familiar with, maybe Bristol, going into Bristol next week, a track you're also familiar with stock cars. Are you expecting maybe a different approach, or maybe doing some practice to see what you need to do to figure out how to get around there in a modified?
Yeah, I showed up tonight without too much practice prior to the actual session, just kind of thinking, oh well, first time in this thing, we'll see how it goes. But now I think I might have to start practicing a little bit. Bristol is, I think, more one line dependent. At least here we're kind of able to work the outside, inside. But with Bristol, at least with the stock cars, it's all up by the wall. So we'll see. I'll put some laps in and we'll go from there.
Yeah, well, I was wondering, even if you didn't practice much tonight, stick with what's working. Maybe just go out there and wing it, and that'll be good.
Yeah, maybe.
But before we send you off, let you celebrate your victory. The floor is yours if you want to shout out to anyone out there in TV land.
Yeah, well, I got to thank my teammate, Ryan Gavel, there for obviously giving me the help there and the pointers. Got to thank you guys for putting this on. I heard there were some difficulties, but I think y'all got it in the end there. So thanks for doing that. I got to thank the sponsors, Blue Egg Marketing, Days Gone By, and Miss Goodies, conveniently enough tonight.
Heck yeah.
Heck of a way to start it off. Pretty convenient timing there, but yeah. Good result tonight, and we'll try and get it done next week.
Yeah, again, good run, Tyler, and hopefully it did work out perfect because it's actually on my YouTube channel. So I think people are going to think this is rigged now. But so hopefully next week we'll be on regular Elite Racing Network, and everything will go a lot smoother on the broadcast end, and you'll be in victory lane or in the top 3. We can interview you next week.
There you go.
All right. Well, congratulations, and go get them at Bristol.
Yeah, thank you.
You bet. And that was Tyler Fody, winner here tonight in the Iowa 100. And kind of crazy that was one of his first times out here in a modified, because like you said, he was doing almost everything, restarts perfectly, and being more familiar with the stock cars, you have 4 gears and going through the gears on restarts and stuff like that. It's a whole different ball game in these modifieds, as I believe there's only like 2 gears that are involved there.
You're correct. It's a 2 speeds. Basically, you got the first speed for running under yellow and the restarts, and then you got your racing gear there. So it's a totally different ball game. But I think it just comes down to the amount of laps that you have on iRacing periods, whether it's at Iowa or any of these other tracks. Tyler, he has the seat time on iRacing, even though he hasn't been in the modifieds.
Yeah, and he's certainly a guy who usually runs up front anytime he gets into, it doesn't matter if it's a truck, Xfinity Series car, or the Cup car, and proved that he can do it again here today. But kind of going over some of the rest of the top 10 rundown, Jay Canor, that he was leading on early in the race, he did work his way back up into the 6th position. But as we talked to Gavel and Fody, that they kind of brought up that pitting might not have been the best strategy. They got, Wilkinson and Canor, that the guys that were up front early on in the race, they did work themselves up into the top 10, but not able to hold on to that lead. R.C. Enerson in 7th, and Jeff Green, we never said anything about him really all night long. The 2000 Xfinity Series champion, he was out there tonight. He gets up into the 8th place. Barney, after getting into that trouble early, gets in 9th, and then Richard Hines rounds out the top 10, but still a lot to be settled out here. As next week again we're going to Bristol. These modifieds, they're going to be wound tight. They're going to be screaming around that track. We've seen some cars flip over here tonight, but I would expect more of the same maybe next week going that crazy track that they call Bristol.
In real life, whenever the Wheel and Modified Tour would go down to Bristol, you were driving on the knife's edge down there. High speeds and not a lot of room to work with, and it is the exact same on iRacing. It's going to be a heck of a show next week at Thunder Valley.
Yeah, Thunder Valley will be a good show to watch, and that will be on the Elite Racing Network, not on my personal YouTube page. At least we hope so. So those who did make the transfer over here and were able to watch this broadcast, thank you. Maconi Setup Shops, thanks you as well. And until next time, I'm Mike Goodman for Connor Sullivan. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. We'll check you all back here next week on the Elite Racing Network, 7:50 p.m. Eastern Time. That's at Thunder Valley. See you then.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. The reason that Maconi Setup Shop is trusted by more virtual and real-world tracks and companies than any other setup shop in iRacing. With partners such as Stafford Motor Speedway, the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, Five Flags Speedway, Speed 51, and more. When you want something done right, you go to the experts at Maconi Setup Shop.
With setups available for most series on both asphalt and dirt, built by a team of professional builders consisting of some of the top talents on the service, Maconi Setup Shop LLC has what you need to hit the track with confidence. Head over to MaconiSetupShop.com and learn why Maconi Setup Shop is the official setup shop of Richmond Raceway Esports and is partnered with some of the largest names in virtual and real racing.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.